Director Joseph Kosinski has always been destined for blockbusters. His first film, 2010's Tron: Legacy, was the most expensive film ever made by a first-time director, not to mention a follow-up to a beloved cult Disney film. He would follow this up with the Tom Cruise starring sci-fi adventure, Oblivion, and the ensemble firefighter film, Only the Brave. Yet Kosinski really hit his stride with Top Gun: Maverick, a grand type of blockbuster film that made almost $1.5 billion, earned a Best Picture nomination, and is rightfully in the conversation as one of the best action films of the 21st century. Hell, a month after Maverick, he released Spiderhead, which somehow managed to turn a George Saunders short story into an ambitious Chris Hemsworth-led psychological thriller. Kosinski was made to direct blockbusters, and that remains abundantly clear with his latest film, F1. Like Maverick, F1 is another gigantic summer film led by one of the biggest film stars in the world about the past generation trying to compete with the young stars, reckoning with the fact that their day might be over. Yet it also manages to not quite be Maverick but with Formula 1 cars either. F1 is the type of film that makes you want to go to the movies, the type of bombastic feature that makes you want to sit down, eat popcorn maniacally like your Tom Cruise watching Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and enjoy a big, entertaining spectacle with a bunch of strangers. F1 might fall into the same cliches and plot lines that you've seen in similar films about racing and sports in general, and you can probably tell where this is headed from the starting gate. But, still, it's also quite possibly one of the most impressive and exciting racing films ever made. What is F1 about? Sonny Hayes is a racer who has spent his whole life starting over. Sonny lives in his van, and we're told he has a history full of gambling debts, ex-wives, and bad mistakes. Sonny used to be a Formula 1 driver, but quit after a big crash in the 90s, and now he goes from race to race, and can drive anything that's thrown at him. After winning a race, his former F1 racing partner, Ruben Cervantes, comes to him with a proposition. Ruben is now the owner of a failing F1 team known as APXGP, which hasn't had a big win in 3 years, is $150 million in debt, has a rookie driver, and Ruben is at real risk of losing his club. With half the season over and only 9 races left, Ruben invites Sonny to join the team and help him turn things around. While Sonny usually doesn't go in for this type of race or team anymore, he accepts the challenge, seemingly as a way to prove to himself that he's still got it at this level of competition. As Sonny joins APXGP, F1 becomes not just a film about digging this team out of the hole, but about two star racers coming to grips with each other. Sonny becomes a blast from F1's past when he joins the team, but he also has to reckon with Joshua Pearce, a rookie looking to prove himself, despite not having much to show for his work so far. F1 balances these two racing powerhouses nicely, slowly moving them towards finding common ground and a way to work together. Sonny does things a bit more classically. Instead of the gym, he works out in his bedroom and runs the track the day before a race. He knows how every element of a race impacts the outcome, and he's also a bit of a wild card. He knows how to shift a race through unconventional means to get a leg up on the other racers. Meanwhile, Joshua is of a new era, where social media presence and press are important. He works out at a high-tech gym, tests out scenarios in a racing simulator, and has lofty goals of becoming a racing star. With these two working together, F1 sees them finding the benefits of doing things both the old and the new way, as they discover there are positives to both approaches. They're both trying to prove themselves, but with different intentions and end goals. F1 also does an excellent job of reminding us that Formula 1 is a team sport. Yes, Sonny and Joshua are behind the wheel, but everyone on the team has an impact on the final outcome. We're introduced to Kate McKenna, the technical director for the team, who can make adjustments to the cars based on what the two racers need, and we get to see how those changes make a huge difference. We're also shown how just a few extra seconds spent by the pit crew can alter a race, and how the timing of that team can change everything. As Sonny says at one point, the race is all about each member doing their best, shaving a few seconds off here and there to make those small moments add up to big time. Sonny and Joshua can race their best, but it doesn't matter if everyone else can't hold their own. F1 is an exciting technical marvel. Kosinski is fantastic at making this all come together and showing us just how much every person matters, and the screenplay by Aaron Kruger makes us care about each of these individuals on the team. Even if you don't care about racing, hell, I don't, F1 makes you appreciate the split-second decision-making, incredible intricacy of the car, and the absolutely unhinged dedication it takes to drive these pieces of machinery worth millions of dollars. Every choice is integral, whether it's how many seconds you spend making a choice, how much you trust your teammate, or even how warm your tires are. F1 shows that a race is an amalgamation of small choices that all add up to victory, and it's thrilling to watch. But naturally, the races themselves are also tremendous to watch, as Kosinski, along with cinematographer Claudio Miranda, who has shot all of Kosinski's previous films as well, makes us feel like we're in these races. We get stunning shots from a first-person perspective behind the wheel of the car, and in doing this, we feel the pressure of each movement. Editor Stephen Mirion has a history of working with large casts and telling a story from multiple points of view, particularly in his projects with Steven Soderbergh, like the Ocean's films, as well as winning an Oscar for his work on Traffic. He phenomenally slides back and forth between people involved in the race, so we know just how much goes into a win. And to soundtrack all of this excitement is another booming, overwhelming score by Hans Zimmer, which fits the tone of this film perfectly. Technically, F1 is a marvel that is often quite stunning to behold. This is also a pretty wonderful spotlight for this cast, particularly the three leads. It's been a while since Pitt has been able to play up the fact that he's one of the true major movie stars still around today, and he plays Sonny like an old cowboy, ready to mosey on to the next town once his race is done. Pitt gives Sonny just enough pathos and backstory for us to care, and excels at this type of badass who means well character. Idris is also a nice surprise as the racer trying to prove himself to the world. We see the cockiness that any racer must inherently have to do this for a living, yet also the care and dedication he has to being one of the greats. Of course, Condon is also fantastic as Kate Casey Kenna, who thankfully is far more than just a romantic option for Sonny, and becomes maybe the most important part of this team. She's a badass who knows how to handle the tough choices that come her way, and it's great to see her in a role of this size in a movie of this scale after her great performance in The Banshees of Inisherin. F1 can't outrace some usual tropes, but it's too much fun to care too much. Despite the excitement and stunning race footage that F1 provides, it's also placed in a story that we've heard countless times before. And while that's in no way damning here, not by a long shot, it is a bit silly at times in how much it plays in the cliches. Like a good racer, you'll probably be able to tell where every turn and twist is going to go, yet it's the quality and impressive nature in which F1 hits these turns that puts this in conversation for the best racing film ever made. When the excitement and tension of the races are as good as they are here, you can ignore a bit of canned dialogue or a goofy trope that has played itself out one too many times. Between this and Top Gun: Maverick, Kosinski has shown he's amazing at creating this sort of grandiose, big-budget crowd pleasers that feel massive in a way we rarely see anymore. This is the sort of film built for the summer. A loud, exciting movie that just feels expensive that'll make you want to clap with excitement over even the most minuscule moments and high-five the stranger next to you in a packed theater. F1 is an absolute blast and one of the most exciting films to come out this summer. A film that will put you on the edge of your seat and make you glad that filmmakers like Kosinski are still making films like this today. F1 races into theaters on June 27th.